Tracking Florence tonight. Good evening and thanks for watching Fox 31 News at 10. I'm Aaron Lee.
And I'm Nicole Williams. As we come on the air, Hurricane Florence head towards the East Coast.
Emergency crews from all over the country are on their way to assist in disaster response. And tonight, more than 1 million people are under mandatory evacuation orders.
Karen Kafer reports from Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, with how people there are preparing and the help that's on the way.
This storm is a monster. It's big and it's vicious.
Hurricane Florence is intensifying as it rumbles toward the Carolinas.
It is an extremely dangerous, life-threatening, historic hurricane.
It's barreling toward an area not used to hurricanes this big. The Category 4 Florence is expected to become the most destructive hurricane to hit this far north on the East Coast since 1954. Forecasters say the storm has potential to strengthen even more and bring 157-mile-per-hour winds when it makes landfall.
You've got to get off the beach. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You're not going to stop that water. You're not going to stop the wind. If you don't get off, you're going to be a casualty.
And as people along the coast pack up and make their way inland, help from around the country is on the way. An Oklahoma utility company is sending dozens of trucks and workers to North Carolina.
The biggest challenge is getting everybody there safely.
Several states are also sending assistance. Help is coming from as far away as California, where firefighters have started the long trek to lend a hand. FEMA is ramping up their preparations and gathering water, meals, and generators to distribute as needed.
We are planning for devastation. It's going to dump amounts of water that some of these areas have not seen in a long, long time.
Well, right now, Dougherty County is preparing for the possibility of evacuees from Hurricane Florence to come to town. It's estimated that nearly 1 million people will have to evacuate ahead of the storm. Dougherty County Emergency Management is partnering with the Red Cross to have shelters on standby. Although it's not likely that Albany will see a large number of evacuees, the county says they want to make sure they're prepared. Jenna Chang with Dougherty County Emergency Management says they can be ready to help other counties at any time.
For right now, we are 100% in a support role, so there's not a lot for us to do except not add to what other jurisdictions are working with.
Chang also says that Dougherty County is concerned about large amounts of rain from any type of severe weather. They plan to watch the Flint River closely in case flooding happens as a result of Florence.
Atlanta Motor Speedway is now opening its camping facilities to evacuees from Hurricane Florence. The Speedway says the campgrounds are equipped to handle thousands of campers. Dry RV spots and tent campers can stay free of charge in the Legends Campground. Full hookup will cost you money, though. The Speedway hosted more than 100 campers during Hurricane Irma.
There we go. Mike should work now. Happy Tuesday, Southwest Georgia. Still pretty active in the Atlantic Basin. We do have a Category 2 hurricane. That's Helene. This one should chart off towards Europe, not posing any threat to us. Down over in Isaac, that one's headed towards the Leeward Islands. We'll take a look at just a moment of its track, but now a tropical storm and still one of the strongest storms to date. North of 20 degrees and 70 degrees is Category 4 Florence, and it does have its eyes on the East Coast as we head over the next couple of days. Speaking of the tropical update, here's a look at what we're expecting. Right now, the winds 140 miles an hour, gusting to 165 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at around 17 miles an hour. Now, we've been talking about weather models, and I don't want you to focus on this, but a lot of social media stir today about what the new models are coming in to say. We do have pretty good consistency with the U.S. and the Euro. It does look to make landfall in North Carolina, come back out into the water, and then the track's still unknown of whether or not it will go back into South Carolina, possibly into parts of Georgia. The track of this system has shifted to include parts of middle Georgia and North Georgia, but it's still a few days out and a lot could happen before then. I want to keep a really good consistency through the next 24 hours before I put all of my eggs in that basket, but definitely something to watch nonetheless. And just a little bit later this hour, we'll talk about how much rain is forecasted for some of these communities and whether or not we'll see any impacts in Southwest Georgia, plus a look at your local forecast until we get there.
A stabbing, a shooting, and armed robbery all happened within a few hours of each other last night in Albany. Fox 31's Alexandria Ikamani is live in the studio to break down these cases and tell you the latest details for each one. Alexandria.
Nicole, Albany police have been busy within the past 24 hours with these three investigations. Right now, we know that there was a shooting on the 1200 block of Towering Pines Lane, an armed robbery on North Jefferson Street, and a stabbing on South Slappy Boulevard. Starting with that shooting, Albany police just released reports saying 2 people were shot at an apartment complex on Towering Pines. In the victim's statement, they say they were out in the back just chilling. They say the suspect then walks up and starts shooting. Albany police say the witnesses reported that they did not have any problems with the suspect and they don't know why he started shooting. 18-year-old Brandon Malone was charged with aggravated assault. Then there was an armed robbery at the Inland gas station on Jefferson, right across from Phoebe Putney Hospital. Albany police tells us the suspects are 2 black males and they are wearing masks during the robbery. We don't know how much cash was taken from the registers, and right now no arrests have been made. Albany police is urging anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers at 436-TIPS. Now, last night we reported a stabbing at the Pace gas station on South Slappy. We now know what led to the clerk being stabbed. Albany police say the suspect asked the customer to buy him a beer. APD reports the customer agreed to it and was given $5 for that beer. They say after buying the beer, the clerk was trying to give the customer the change. They add the suspect got upset demanding the clerk give him the change, but the clerk ignored him and tried to give the customer the change. The suspect went over the counter and stabbed the clerk. 46-year-old Antonio Jordan was charged with aggravated assault. Now, arrests were made for 2 out of the 3 cases. Once again, if you have any information about the armed robbery, you can anonymously call Crime Stoppers at 436-TIPS. Stay connected with us on air, online, and on our mobile app for updates. For now, live in the studio, Alexandria Gamoni, Fox 31 News.
Alexandria, thank you. A 39-year-old Sylvester man has been arrested in connection to the death of a 2-month-old child. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says Roderick Farley is facing charges of felony murder and aggravated assault for the death of Anaya Farley. The GBI says Anaya was taken to Phoebe Worth on September 8th after being found unresponsive. She was later flown to Navison Children's Hospital in Macon, where she was later declared brain dead. If you have any information on this incident, you're asked to contact the GBI Sylvester Field or the Sylvester Police Department. New at 10, Albany is getting ahead with new technology, the unique way this works to repair lift stations.
Plus, new video tonight from space of Hurricane Florence, a message one artist left behind as she abandoned her home to evacuate.